Hello, this is Dr. Mike Brooks. I'm a licensed psychologist and director of the Austin Psychology and Assessment Center, or ApaCenter. Today I want to talk to you about being right versus being effective. And you've probably heard that before sometime or another, but I think it's a really important one to review because time and time again in our lives we often choose being right over being effective, and we pay the consequences. So I've said before in other video blogs is that most of our happiness in life comes from our social relationships, and so it's very important to act in ways to build and maintain our social relationships because our own happiness resides in these relationships. And when we choose to be right over being effective, what happens is the relationship is harmed in some way. That's why it's not effective. So for example, this comes up a lot in parenting, and I'm a parent, and I try to practice what I preach. It's very difficult sometimes, but I try. And this being right versus effective principle comes up time and time again. So let's say you're a parent and your child, your son, isn't doing his homework, or may need help being reminded whether he's got his homework or not. So you remind your son, hey, have you done your homework? Do you have it? What is it? And your son reacts negatively to these reminders. And let's just say your son needs the reminders because oftentimes your son forgets his homework, or forgets to turn it in or write it down or something like that. So you want to help out, right? As any parent would. That's the right thing to do. It's right to want to help your child, in a healthy way. I think that's appropriate. And the other thing is your child may actually need the help and to grow in that area. And so you're trying to remind your child. But if your son, pushes back against it and just see it as nagging, as critical, and gets mad every time you try, that's a case of you may be right to bring it up in a sense because your child needs help in this area, and their grades may be slipping, his or her grades may be slipping, but by doing so it harms the relationship. Now that doesn't mean don't help your child at all. It means find another way that's effective. Don't keep beating your head against a wall. It's that definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over expecting different results. So when you're looking at your interactions with your kids and other people, is asking yourself, am I choosing to be right over being effective? And when you do that, it can give you enough pause to go down the path of being effective. So this is Dr. Mike Brooks of the Austin Psychology and Assessment Center, or ApaCenter, giving a bit of advice on our relationships that I hope you can use. Thanks.